Welcome to the Equals Mathematics Curriculum Walkthrough. In this webinar, participants will be provided with information regarding the content of the Equals Math Curricular and Manipulative Kit. If you have any questions regarding Equals Math, you can contact the curriculum team by email at curriculum@ablenetinc.com. Please feel free to contact us for additional support or follow-up questions. Let's get started. Equals Math Curriculum is a multisensory math program which has been aligned to state and alternate standards, Common Core standards, Common Core essential elements, and NCSC core connectors. It is based on a foundation of essential math skills which students build upon to develop useful and functional math knowledge and understanding. Essential skills are those skills needed in order to move ahead in math. Learning math builds on previously learned skills and concepts. For this reason, the lessons in Equals have been carefully placed and ordered. Equals covers general education content standards through 4th grade. For some students, math begins with learning how to attend to a group lesson and how to appropriately interact with manipulatives and materials for instruction. For other students, it means strengthening prerequisite math skills so they can generalize and connect to the math in our world. The Equals curriculum is made up of 4 main components: the Curricular Kit, the Manipulative Kit, the Members-Only Content, and the Equals Technology Lesson Center. The Members-Only Content and the Equals Technology Lesson Center house digital versions of lesson materials needed to complete lessons. The Members-Only Content and Equals Technology Lesson Center are digital resources that can also be used to support distance learning. As we begin to discuss the curriculum, it's important to know that Equals is a complete math curriculum designed to support all students learning alongside one another. The Manipulative Kit provides students with hands-on manipulatives to support communication and problem-solving opportunities. The Action Dictionary is our main differentiation guide meant to support students' actions during a lesson. The differentiated lesson materials and levels within lesson activities and worksheets provide embedded support to students working on a common lesson objective. Action cards support students while thinking about the action needed to solve a problem. And there is also assistive technology included, the alternate spinner and the step-by-step communicator. Today we're going to cover how all of these pieces come together within the curriculum to support all students in being an active math learner. First, we'll review the materials within the content kit: 5 teacher's guides, 53 workmats, 15 theme posters, and 9 content posters to support lessons and instruction, pre-printed student tools, the Equals card set, which includes over 1,400 vocabulary, content, action, and poster cards, all picture symbol supported, and to determine a student's current math knowledge, a placement assessment kit with manuals and assessment materials. Let's take a closer look at each content kit resource. There are 5 spiral-bound teacher's guides. Each teacher's guide contains 2 chapters. The front cover of the teacher's guide lists the included chapters within each book. The lessons in Equals are presented in a definite sequence. Once a student is assessed and placed at the appropriate starting point based on their math knowledge and understanding, students move through the lessons in that presented order. In the Curricular Kit, there are 53 large workmats. These important resources are printed on a dry erasable paper so students and teachers can write on them during the lesson with a dry erasable marker. The workmats are labeled along the bottom with a number. Workmats are referenced specifically within the lessons by that number. A strength of these workmats is they are meant to be used by students to organize their manipulatives. Each workmat was carefully measured to accommodate the majority of the manipulatives from the Manipulative Kit. This is an important support for students as they work with and demonstrate their understanding of lesson concepts and solve problems. In this example, attribute blocks are placed on this workmat to support students in creating a design with smaller shapes. The workmats are also available on the Members-Only Content and the Equals Technology Lesson Center. In addition to workmats, students will also use a series of posters during the lessons. Pictured here are the theme posters. There are 15 theme posters that are called out specifically within lessons using the listed theme found at the bottom of each poster. Theme posters support math conversations and highlight examples of math in familiar, interesting, or motivating themes or environments. The purpose is to provide a context for problem solving and engage students and encourage them to recognize math in places outside of the classroom setting. All theme posters are available on the Equals Technology Lesson Center and members-only content. In addition to theme posters, there are 9 content posters, which are called out within the lessons by the title at the bottom of each poster. These posters can also be found and used digitally within the members-only content and the Equals Technology Lesson Center. Also found within the Curricular Kit box are the student tools. Student tools are labeled by the name of the specific tool along the bottom of each page. These are tools that support students' understanding and problem-solving strategies. They include number lines, hundreds charts, 10 frames, money cards, shape puzzles, pizza fractions, and more. As with the Workmats, the student tools accommodate the majority of the manipulatives included in the kit and are meant to be a student support during lessons. These materials are also available electronically in the members-only content and the Equals Technology Lesson Center. All of the cards come pre-cut and are organized in the provided box with pre-printed tabs. Content cards support problem-solving, gameplay, and provide a semi-concrete representation of math concepts. Vocabulary cards are used to introduce students to new math vocabulary that support the lesson objective. Action cards support student actions while problem-solving within the lesson. And poster cards are a support for students while working with the theme poster. One of the card's primary function is to support students' language and action during lessons. To get an idea of how the cards are used in action, here is a teacher working with a student. The student is comparing a drawn set using the words one and many. In this video, the student is using the action cards and vocabulary cards. As you're watching, think about how the cards and the materials are used to support his actions, language, and independence during the activity.
All right, are we looking? Are we looking here? Are we looking here? Are we looking over here? Oh, you're gonna compare? Okay, how are we gonna compare these? Are you gonna compare by matching or labeling? By labeling? Okay. So then show me how you label.
Notice, this teacher showed the action cards to provide purpose and reinforce the action in this activity. The student had the opportunity to choose the action he wanted to take. He selected his own action. This video comes from the second year of implementation of the Equals curriculum. Over the first year, students will begin to see how the curriculum materials are used to support their thinking and communication. The curriculum includes an assessment for making placement decisions by assessing students' math knowledge within the content areas the curriculum is built on. The assessment kit comes with the assessment flipbooks, assessment workmats, student tools, and picture symbols. Next, we'll move on to the manipulative kit. Most manipulatives in the Equals kit are intended to be multi-purpose. The place value pocket chart is to be used as a low-tech communication device. The pockets are deep enough to hold most manipulatives. Cards and Pic-Symbols can be placed above the pockets. The pocket chart is accessible for the students to communicate through touch, pointing, eye gaze, and verbal communication. The large number and symbol rubber stamps and the magnetic numerals assist students who need support when writing numerals, math symbols, and equations. Anglegs and wiki sticks, labeled within lessons as wax-coated yarn sticks, are excellent tools and are useful when showing 3D representations of line segments, which can be used to easily construct angles or shapes, or reinforce colors by sorting, matching, or identifying. But there are other adaptations that you can use these tools for as well. Wax-coated yarn sticks and anglegs can be used as a tool for adaptations. Wax-coated yarn sticks can be secured on workmats showing shapes or designs to provide a tactile border or a barrier when sliding or matching shapes. Anglegs can be used to create sorting boundaries for students who have greater success sliding objects rather than picking them up and moving them. Here's another example of how the wax-coated yarn sticks can be used to support students who may need a more tactile representation while learning about amounts. The wax-coated yarn sticks are placed on each dice pattern dot. Students can then feel the dots as they learn about the amount of 3. There are 2 sets of 2-dimensional shapes, attribute blocks, and pattern blocks. Attribute and pattern blocks support discussions that include shapes, colors, and size comparisons. The shapes within each set were created so that the smaller shapes can fit onto the larger shapes to demonstrate partitioning and beginning the discussion of equal shares. Building blocks are used as three-dimensional models. They include the wooden counting cubes. These can also be used for color and sorting activities, as well as identifying geometric shapes and discussing faces, edges, and vertices. Additionally, building blocks can be used to support students physically when working with the Pic-Symbols during lessons. For some students, picking up the Pic-Symbols can be an obstacle. Teachers can tape the Pic-Symbols on the building blocks so the Pic-Symbols can be more accessible. Also included in the Manipulative Kit are the Unifix cubes, referenced as connecting cubes within lessons, and the Unifix stairs, referenced as the stacked number line. The connecting cubes are used by students within the strategies relating to counting, sorting, making sets, and understanding place value. The stacked number line is a tool that brings meaning to the number line. Students use the visual representations of each amount and connect it with the numeral. The 10-frame boxes included are a tactile and physical support for students when learning about counting and grouping sets of 10. Students can feel each box as they place one cube in each place. When a set of 10 has been created, the lid is closed. The foam tiles are another great counter for sorting, matching, counting, area, and when completing problems dealing with the 4 operations. The foam tiles fit between the numerals on the number line workmats, as well as fit within the squares found on the 5, 10, and 20 frames. The circle counters are 2-sided circles. One side is red and the other side is yellow. This tool is used by students to count, show sets of amounts, compare, and identify the difference between amounts. The circle counters also fit on the square and circle version of the 5, 10, and 20 frame workmats. Here, the circle counters are used to support students in creating a line graph. This adaptation is useful for those students who may not graph in a typical way using graph paper and a pencil. Students plot the data using the circle counters, then use the ang legs to create a line. Additionally, theme counters are included. These counters reinforce problem-solving opportunities within a theme and provide concrete representations of items discussed within a theme. Equals has a variety of measurement tools to support instruction. The demonstration thermometer, a set of smaller thermometers, 2 different protractors, one with an arm and a circle protractor, a set of 10 rulers, and a demonstration clock. Also included in the kit are 2 types of scales, a dial scale and a balance scale. The balance scale is used when comparing amounts and establishing the idea of more, less, and equal. The dial scale is included to show a more accurate view of weight and mass. The dial scale shows weight in both pounds and ounces, as well as grams and kilograms. To support students' conceptual understanding of what the lines on the dial scale represent, there are 2 dial scale models within the kit. The Equals curriculum includes assistive technology to support students and encourage participation. The alternate spinner is an accessible spinner that is activated by pressing the large button on the front of the spinner or by using a switch plugged into the side. As you can see, the overlay is an alternative for rolling dice, but when you flip the inner and outer overlay templates, it reveals a blank side where teachers can attach cards or Pic-Symbols with sticky tack for additional lessons. The step-by-step communicator is a communication device that contains 2 minutes worth of recording space that teachers can use to record a single message or sequential messages. Students activate the message by pushing the button, and after the first recording plays, the next message is activated by pushing the button again until it cycles through all of the recorded messages. These assistive technology devices can bring a lot of communication opportunities in many ways, so be sure to bring them out and encourage students to use them as much as possible. Also, remember to consult the Action Dictionary for ways to incorporate these devices as ways to support student actions as they participate in lessons. In the Math Kit, there are 2 math lines, a large math line up to 31 and a smaller math line up to 10. The math line is a tool that supports counting, skip counting, adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing. We recommend placing small pieces of Velcro on your manipulatives as well as the MathLine tabs. By adapting the MathLine and the materials, students can move and organize in the manipulatives as you see here. Now this tool has become a concrete, semi-concrete, and abstract representation of counting or organizing sets while adding. Students can use the manipulatives, a math tool, and the abstract numerals to make multiple connections. Teachers can observe how students demonstrate correspondence and left-to-right progression. As you notice, the expansive manipulative and content kit are there to support instruction and students demonstrating their math knowledge. Here's an example of how we recommend to organize the complete curriculum within a space in a classroom. The manipulatives are organized on the shelves. The content kit houses the posters and workmats. The white box organizes the cards by category, and the equals assessment is organized in its labeled box. Having your materials stored in the place you plan to teach allows you to gather only the materials you need for the lesson or section of lessons you're teaching. Moving on to the third part of the curriculum now, the members-only content. Members-only content is provided on a USB drive and is included in the content kit box. Within members-only are all the printable lesson materials and additional resources to support students and teachers during lessons. To begin, we will start with the essential curricular resources found in the members-only content. Please take a moment to locate the Equals Overview manual shown here. This can be found in the Resources folder. This resource supports the implementation process and provides you with important information as you get started. The Overview manual includes several resources to support teachers while implementing the Equals curriculum. Within the Overview manual, you'll find a pacing guide, lesson diagram pages, a checklist organizing the implementation steps, as well as exploration lessons that provide students and teachers with an opportunity to explore the content and the manipulative kit materials prior to teaching a lesson. Be sure to take some time to go through each appendix of the Overview manual to get an idea of how it can provide support at the various stages of implementation. The Action Dictionary is one of the most important resources as it individualizes differentiation as students are supported based on their needs in performing the actions as active math learners. The Action Dictionary is an electronic resource located in the Resources folder in the Members-Only content. As you begin reviewing the Equals Math lessons, notice that there are some words in a purple font. These are considered student action words that students are meant to complete to be an active learner during your lessons. As you begin to read the lessons and find yourself wondering how students will complete those actions during the activity, that is the time to reference the Action Dictionary. For example, if I'm looking at the game activity here, and I see the student is going to count connecting cubes, or unifix cubes, and I know my student will need support with the physical act of counting, I would locate the word count in the Action Dictionary, read through the suggested adaptations, and choose one that will work for my student. The Action Dictionary is a resource to ensure all students are active learners within the lesson. Let's take a look at the lesson structure in Equals. Within the Equals curriculum, the lesson objectives focus on 6 math content areas. The last area is attending and exploring. This was added and written by our curriculum team specifically for those students who have little to no math knowledge, or for those students who are new to math instruction or even new to the classroom. You will find lessons for this content area taught within Chapter 1, Section A. One of the most important takeaways of the Equals Math curriculum are the connections present between the content areas found embedded within the lesson objectives. Within the curriculum, a content area is not taught in isolation. When looking at the lesson objective, student will compare 4 quarters to make a dollar. The skills needed to demonstrate an understanding of this skill begin in Chapter 1, with identifying shapes, including circles and rectangles, the shape of money, and placing objects with correspondence. In Chapter 2, the part-to-whole relationship is developed, as well as building correspondence skills by counting to 10. In Chapter 3, we continue building this part-whole relationship by composing and decomposing amounts. Extend the number list to 20, and the dollar bill is introduced. In Chapter 4, we solve addition and subtraction part-part-whole problems to extend the part-to-whole relationship. Partition a whole shape into equal shares, introducing the vocabulary word quarter, and extending the number list to 50 by counting by 1s and 10s to 50. Finally, in Chapter 5, we extend the number list to 120, and use a number pattern on the hundreds chart to locate a numeral as well as introduce and name the coins that are parts of the whole dollar previously introduced. Then we are able to apply our previous learning to identify 4 quarters in a dollar, and we can even apply a previous math tool, the hundreds chart, and a strategy to show 4 quarters in a dollar. This deeper level of understanding truly makes this skill functional in the real world for our students. In order for a student to take their understanding beyond a rote skill understanding, there should be certain vocabulary and math tools that have been taught first to support that deeper understanding and connections. This is just one example of the connections present within the curriculum. Look through the contents pages to really get a view of the connected skills. The progression of learning can be seen most easily on the contents pages of the overview manual. The objectives and equals have been narrowed as shown on the previous slide for student success, and are an example of one of the many ways students are supported within the curriculum. We introduce concepts in a more manageable format for students, and focus on building knowledge over time. Take some time to look through the contents pages of the overview manual to become familiar with the sequence of learning present within the curriculum. When reviewing Equals Math lessons, you'll notice a focus on developing students' problem-solving skills. This allows for the math concepts being taught to be used as a tool for problem-solving. Asking students to use the skills they are learning from a problem-solving point of view allows students to move beyond just a rote skill understanding and gives opportunity for students to increase the functionality of those skills in their everyday life. Within Equals lessons, there are a variety of problem-solving opportunities on every page, with more than 7 problems to solve per lesson. This is an example of one complete lesson. Every lesson is 4 pages in length, and while the pacing of the lesson will depend on the individual classroom experience, one lesson will take anywhere from 4 to 12 days to complete. The lesson pages are to be taught in order, so the progression of learning stays valid. One of the strengths of the lesson is that the activities build and extend to the following page, so that students are always building and connecting new learning to previous knowledge. The lesson begins with the first page, Getting Ready. On this page, students activate background knowledge and review materials and resources that will be used or introduced to support the lesson objective. On the second page, the teacher and students use the problem-solving steps to solve a problem related to the lesson objective. On the third page, students have the opportunity to solve a problem related to the objective independently. The last page is the follow-up page. This offers choices for practicing and applying math skills in a variety of ways. For teachers who have students with significant disabilities, it is important to recognize the embedded supports within the curriculum. Beginning with the lesson plans, each lesson plan follows a progression of learning, allowing students to first view you as the teacher, modeling math language, while using the math tools appropriately. Over time, this supports students while utilizing those tools from a mathematical lens. The lesson plans have clearly outlined directions for each activity, so teachers can take comfort in knowing which tools and math language to use to stay true to the lesson objective. Lessons have embedded differentiation, so teachers can differentiate to each student's need. The narrowed lesson objectives allow for students to continue to work on skills that require more practice over the course of multiple lesson objectives. Initial training is included with the Equals Math curriculum. Also included is specific training geared directly toward the topic of supporting students with significant disabilities. This training supports teachers by showing how to use the embedded differentiation to support students with the most significant needs. The curriculum itself is meant to be used in special education classrooms. All of the materials were part of a thoughtful discussion on how we can get all students actively learning during the lessons. The Content Kit, Manipulative Kit, and Assistive Technology are all meant to be used by teachers and students to actively engage with the lesson and content. The final component of the curriculum is the Equals Technology Lesson Center. There are a variety of ways this technology tool can be incorporated into the lesson to support teachers during instruction. Teachers can choose to use this tool to locate print materials in a specific lesson organized by pages of the lesson, or find materials by type in organized folders. A vast majority of the workmats and posters are included, as well as a large supply of images, so solving a variety of problems is easy and fun. Please refer to the Equals training webinar, Equals Technology Lesson Center, to see how this tool can be used during implementation of the curriculum. For the purpose of this curricular walkthrough, It is important to know that the Equals Technology Lesson Center is located on the AbleNet website. The Equals Technology Lesson Center can be found on the AbleNet website, www.ablenetinc.com. From here, navigate to the Resources drop-down menu. Be sure to select the correct link for your version of Equals. In this case, it will be the Equals Technology Lesson Center link. As an example, the lesson materials that students have worked with during the lesson can be shown digitally, and students can now practice the lesson objective using digital resources. The Equals Technology Lesson Center is a terrific tool and has much to offer. Give yourself time with this resource to explore the different tools and ways it can support your lesson. To give an idea of the curriculum in action, we have 2 short videos. The first is a vocabulary activity from the first year of implementation. The second video shows the teach activity from the second year of implementation. Take notice of how the teacher's instructional style has changed and the comfort of the students with the materials has developed over time. Students are learning about the vocabulary word that relates to the lesson objective. Take notice of how all the different pieces of the curriculum we've discussed today come together to support students during this single activity.
I got turtles. Oh, can you have the snake put the turtle in the bag for me? Oh, have the snake put him in the bag. Thank you. This is a set. Okay?
Thank you.
I have a set of turtles. I have a set of turtles. What do I have? Good. What do I have? Oh, that was loud. What do I have? What do I have? You said it. Say it again. Set. What do we have? Evan, what do I have? I have a set of turtles. Are these the same? Yes or no? Are turtles the same as blocks? No, these are not the same. Turtles are the same. Blocks are the same. Turtles are not the same as blocks. These are categories. Category. I have 2 sets. Each of these sets is a
Category.
Each of these sets,
Category.
this category is turtles. What are these?
Category.
These are each a category. This category is blocks, right? These 2 sets are separated by
Category.
what is this category? Turtles. Evan, I have 2 sets. Sets, good job. Evan, they are separated
Category.
by category. What is in this bag? What is this category? Is this turtles or blocks? Evan, turtles or blocks? Evan, these are blocks. Blocks. Osvaldo, these are separated by
Category.
We have a second video here. What did you notice about Kara's instructional method? She seems more comfortable with the materials. She uses the action cards to support her students in completing the activity, and her students know the role in the lesson.
Are we ready to talk about one and many? One. Can you show me one? Good. Show me one. Show me one. Show me one. One. Yep. One. How many? How many? How many? You can tell me on your device or with your voice. How many? One. So now we're going to match our cards. What are we going to do, Jason? We can match. What are we going to do? What are we gonna?
1.
Let's match.
1. 1. Walk.
What does this say? Is this one or many?
Many.
Ready.
All right, let's match. Let's not put it on top. Where does many go? Not in the middle. Try again. Show me the circle with many blocks. Is it this circle or this circle? Remember to look. Very nice. Good looking. All right. Michaela. Excuse me, Evan. Move your hand out of the way so Michaela can see. Are you looking? Are you looking here? And are you looking here? All right, let's compare. We have some stuff in this circle. We have some stuff in this circle. What does this say? Many. Many. Let's match. Very nice. I'll take it. Thank you. If you need it. Thanks, Justin. Good job, Michaela. Match it to the 1. Very good. Thank you. Are you ready to look? All right. Are you looking? Look here. And look here. What does this say? Label the circle with 1. And now we're going to label the circle that has...
Right? Yeah, here.
Nice.
Each Equals Math curriculum comes with the Equals Fidelity training program. The Quick Start Guide, Organizational Guide, and pre-recorded overview and organization webinar will help teachers get materials organized quickly. Once teachers have organized their kits and familiarized themselves with the materials, they will complete 2 trainings, assessment and lesson components. These provide teachers with the information they need to begin teaching. After teachers have spent some time teaching, typically about 1 month, they can complete implementation scales. These tell us here in the curriculum department how each individual teacher is doing with implementation. We then provide each teacher an individualized action plan of specific Equals components to focus on for implementation success. The Administrator's Checklist supports administrators as they lead their teachers through the implementation process and observe Equals in the classroom. Follow-up support is also included through the curriculum email, Equals Math Community Facebook group, Equals Math newsletter, or by requesting a webinar to focus on specific topics or a Q&A session. Equals can also be used to support distance learning. The Equals Technology Lesson Center is a terrific tool that can be used to demonstrate lesson concepts. Parents have access to this tool as well. Lesson extensions are currently in production. The lesson extensions are short activities that include materials typically found at home and are specifically designed to reinforce the lesson objective in a distance format. We have also included a variety of parent supports. Short videos showing how to use the Equals Technology Lesson Center and how to incorporate math into everyday problems. There are also parent home letters that can be sent home to give parents ideas on activities they can complete with their child to support the math lessons you are teaching. These activities use items typically found at home and, in addition to distance learning, can be used for homework during lessons. For older students, we also have transition lessons in production with the first strand, Money and Budget, available August 2020, with others to follow as completed. These are designed to be companion lessons to specific Equals Math curriculum objectives and can be incorporated into your Equals Math schedule. Transition lessons are organized into content areas of Money and Budget, Managing Time and Routines, Health, Safety and Nutrition, and Organization and Following Directions. The lesson structure is specifically designed for application of learned math skills from Equals Math to their community by focusing on community living in their home, neighborhood, recreation, transportation, employment, or post-secondary education environments. During Equals Transition lessons, students learn how to research their own community, interview workers, and present information that they have learned. Each lesson includes typical transition soft skills, such as promoting self-advocacy by identifying and expressing personal preference, making choices, and following step-by-step directions. This will conclude the overview of the Equals Math curriculum. We appreciate your time today. And if you have any questions or would like additional information regarding Equals, you can reach out to our customer service representatives by phone at 800-322-0956 or email at customerservice@ablenetinc.com. Thank you for your interest in the Equals Math curriculum. We look forward to hearing from you.